fucking crazy that line is so iconic now.
I mean, it is. Yeah.
That's insane.
What is with him and having incredibly iconic lines, if you think about it?
He's one of the few who have like those iconic lines.
He at least has two.
In various movies.
That's insane.
Anyway, welcome back to Back to Classic Cinematic Movie Podcast that takes you back to the iconic films of 20 years ago right here on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your podcast, YouTube. You may bootleg it from another weird-ass website. It doesn't matter. Bootlegging. As long as you listen, we enjoy it. We love it. I am Jay Alonzo. Of course, with me is my partner in crime,
Danger Neff, and it's the season finale.
Which is weird because we have to break this down because we've never had a season finale. We're the only show on Beat Network outside the noise that we kind of just go
all the time, every week, every single time that we could.
So our first season finale is really based on the fact that after this show, we're going to put all our eggs in the basket and focus on one thing and one thing only: New York Comic-Con.
That's right, baby. New York!
Damn it. So it's a special episode. We have a returning guest. It's already been over a year since he's last been on the show. This is before Danger Neff joined the show permanently. And we were able to go back to our days as young bucks, running and gunning, no relationships. We're just young dudes out here just trying to take them down. So going back to How to Be a Player.
I'm cracking up because you say young dudes. I'm like, dude, that was like a year ago.
No.
You weren't a young dude taking them down a year ago.
Well, I probably was.
You were headed off to middle age.
Yeah, that's very true. Definitely headed off to middle age a year ago. But we had a fantastic time on this episode. Listen, what better way to close out the season, which we didn't even know we had, but we're going to close out the season with my best friend, Over the Top LV's own King Cory. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's going on?
Welcome back to the DeLorean, man.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time coming, man. I think we got another good one this time.
What's going on, bro? How's things at Over the Top?
Everything's going good, man. Same grind. We just, looking to keep building culture, keep looking for events, keep looking for artists, and just, keep grinding. That's all it's about, is just keep grinding, man. It's a marathon, so we're going to keep going.
Word. So the last time you was on the show, both Beat and Over the Top were kind of still finding their footing. And what a difference a year makes. You know what I mean? Because now, as we sit here, we're both elevating to something really big.
I mean, it really helps how you brought me on. Because I really felt like I elevated and brought in a new culture. You are part of the elevation.
Yes, absolutely. We're bridging that gap, if you will.
Connecting together with other communities out there.
Jewish communities. We'll get some Amish people
Jewish.
in there.
I ain't Jewish, motherfucker.
I didn't say you was.
So you just had to be Jewish.
but you will help to get there, though. I will say that. But as far as things that you guys got going on over there, we've been monitoring closely. You guys are definitely doing your thing. As far as the difference in the year, what has been the biggest positive outcome since last time you were on the show?
Man, the biggest outcome has been, man, we got the whole site redesigned. So, we actually went out and hired some people to redesign our whole site to, open up to a lot of different things. We got our online store going. So, we're also looking for other, vendors and other merchants who want to come out and, sell their product on our site. So, that's been the biggest thing since this year is, getting the whole site redesigned.
And to be fair, what is Over the Top for our new listeners I decided to bring in?
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, should I say it? I'm going to say it.
Well, Over the Top LV is a website, with Las Vegas talent. So, I mean, we highlight everything, every bit of culture, talent out here, from music to models to poets to, artists, local businesses. I mean, everything. So, we're just trying to be the hub where you can go and actually find, some of these things that's going on in Las Vegas.
And with the developing talent that Las Vegas has, and we're just getting bigger and bigger as time progresses. Over the Top is one of those hubs that, just like Beat Network nowadays, it's really hard to find somebody that has not heard of either Beat or Over the Top. So I thought it was pretty cool that we started on the same ground, so to speak, and the fact that a year later, a year some change later, we're talking to town, which I think is dope. Now, we're not so much talking to town to where Trump got to shut down fucking traffic, but that's neither here nor there. Because I think we were all late to the studio today. But
it was a struggle to get here today because all of a sudden I get this message from my boy and he's like, oh, hey, Trump's in town and he's going to speak at the Las Vegas Convention Center. I was like, Las Vegas Convention Center? That's right down the street from me. And then he's like, it's fine. 7 o'clock. Just
I gotta get past that.
He's like, it's fine. 7 o'clock. Just make sure you pass that. And I'm like, I got to drive all the way to the west side of town. How am I ever going to get out of there?
It's like doing the biggest circle that like.
I know. And immediately I start texting these two. I'm like, all right, just a heads up. And then Life is Beautiful is in town as well.
Which is where I got caught up at. I took my dog to the vet and, I'm like, okay, cool. So Trump's going, I'm not going that way. I'm going to go the other way. So I go the other way and I'm going up, towards, downtown only to see millions of detour signs and millions of police saying, listen, y'all can't come this way.
It also doesn't help of the construction that's going on in this town already. I'm like, what way do you guys want us to go home? Do you guys have like helicopter carriers that can just take me from here to there?
We look like a bunch of ants just trying to just get back to our colony.
It's like rats in a maze.
Jeez,
All right, for you guys to get through, you have to go through the parking lot of the Cosmopolitan and exit out the other side of there.
And then you're gonna go
and then you're gonna want to drive through the construction of the new Las Vegas Raiders Stadium.
Then you're gonna go up, you're gonna go past the park, and then once you go past the park, then you're gonna stop at that McDonald's, go around the McDonald's drive-through, and then further down that way. Basically, you're looking at about an hour and a half to get home, which is insane for Las Vegas traffic times.
From anywhere in Las Vegas.
From anywhere. It
doesn't take me an hour and a half to do anything in Las Vegas.
No, minimum 15 minutes, cool.
Anywhere.
But an hour and a half, it took me an hour to get to the studio.
I mean, normally, for those of you who don't live in Las Vegas, it used to be you could take 35 minutes from one point of the town to the end of the other point of the town. Now that we're this growing new population of whatever, it's not like my paycheck's gotten raised and all that's taken now is me taking fucking forever to get to work now.
I got a quarter raise.
Look at you. I'm proud of you.
I mean, I love it. I'm not going to say I don't like it, but I mean, to endure all this bitch ass traffic.
I know.
Give me a buck at least. But anyway, moving on. So as far as feature plans for Over the Top, of course, we're not going to speak on it just yet, but we are coming together. Beat Network and Over the Top going to be collaborating on some things, because we're not competition. We're all family.
Definitely, man. We got some big things coming together. So
most definitely,
it's going to be. It was a big last year, and next year is only going to be bigger. So I mean, I'm just looking forward to everything that we got coming for us. So should be some interesting things coming real soon.
Now you say you had an online store. What's do you have the address?
It's all OverTheTopLV.com. So, you go there, just check it out, man. Click through everything. Look at some of them. I mean, it's so many amazing artists and different talent out here, man. And you really don't realize it until you get it in one place. And you're like, man, this is all happening in Las Vegas. So, I mean, definitely check it out. Check out our shop, man. You can find, original Over the Top gear. We got a couple other vendors in that you can check out, and just, take a look around, man. We'll appreciate it.
Word. So,
with that moving forward, announcements.
We have announcements, plenty of them.
Too many of them.
So I'll tell you what, you knock out the first one, I knock out the second one, and we get into some news.
Let's do it. All right. So for those of you who haven't listened to us in, I don't know, a month or so, we are headed off to the New York Comic-Con. We will be there from October 4th through the 7th. We will be there to interview all the latest celebrities and give you all the latest entertainment news there. You can follow us at beatnetworkonline.com, where we will be consistently posting your things out there. So all of our friends and family out there in New York, feel free to hit us up. Let us know.
Oh yeah, because we're definitely gonna touch the city. We're gonna definitely touch the city.
Say that again.
Touch the city.
Did you hear what I was hearing? That's what I was hearing. I was like,
touch the titty. Say it again. Whoa.
I was like, are you saying touch the titty? We're gonna touch the titty in New York. We're going to New York. We're gonna touch
hold on. Wait a minute.
Look, I know Trump's in town, man, but can you relax?
I'm not saying touch the titty is a bad thing, but we'll touch the city. I plan on going to Johnny's, get myself some cheesecake. And going to Brooklyn, going to the Bronx, really enjoying New York for what it what it offers. I've been in New York forever, so but yeah, Beat Network we will be out there having some great exclusive interviews with some of today's top stars. We got Jason Momoa, we have Common locked in,
Steve Aoki.
For those who care, Power Ranger stuff. There's gonna be a bunch of stuff, you know.
Great.
But all the main focus after today's show, we'll go into Comic-Con. So we'll take about a 2-week hiatus, and we'll be back very strong after the trip, after we got some sleep in and a lot of editing done. But definitely looking forward to it. Second announcement, we haven't brought it up in a while, but October 12th is going to be Beat Network presents Cognac Conversations. That's going to be the celebration of the 100th episode of The Boys from the Noise. The pioneer show that launched Beat Network to begin with. That's going down. You got the information over there?
I'm pulling it up.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, Cognac Conversations is celebrating the 100th episode of The Noise. Have a great panel hosted by our own Lady Truth with great panelists like Oak as well as some few other folks. But that's pretty much sold out, isn't it?
At this point, yeah. I think there's still, I think some pre-sale last I heard was still going on. But I know that's running out pretty fast.
Pretty quickly.
And it's going to be over at the Truth Spot, which is off Martin Luther King Boulevard, Suite 108, 1830 North Martin Luther King Boulevard, Suite 108. Definitely all about black male empowerment, uplifting black women, supporting the black community. Anything black, it's going to be there, including my white ass. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
I was waiting for it. Like, to get Dave's black. He's really black on the inside. Don't let the radio voice fool you. But yeah, that's gonna be a great turnout. Cory, you coming to Cognac Conversations?
We'll definitely be in there. And OverTop will be in the building, and we'll actually be, playing the media coverage there. So we'll be in there getting media as well. So beautiful. So, like we said, we have a lot of stuff coming up. More stuff to be announced later on. But besides that, man, Beat Network, we're out here working, having a ball while doing it. I can't be more proud than what we've already obtained and what we're going to keep, pushing forward to do. So let's get into some movie news.
We finally, actually, hold on. We finally have movie news.
After like 4 weeks of nothing.
I know, it was barren.
I was like, I don't want to watch TV. I want to watch movies.
It was like going into the liquor cabinet and only finding like a fifth of vodka left.
Or like finding that one Corona that's been like super there, and warm.
It's from like 2004, back with the old logo Corona. And
the old logo?
Oh yeah, the old logo.
Is that even safe to drink?
Yeah, we're taking.
There's only one way to try and find out. We
dipped our pinky in.
It's not yellow anymore. It's like an orange color. Like, no,
I'm good. I don't.
But the Captain Marvel trailer has officially came, unexpected, really. On top of that, what are your thoughts?
I felt like it told us nothing. But I also was, I'm a big Brie Larson fan. Yes. She had Room, which is phenomenal. And if you are a woman, you really want to see what it's like to go through something incredibly tragic and find your way to get out of it. Room is phenomenal. She was also in Kong Skull Island, which I gotta be honest, like Kong Skull Island, I felt like was a fantastic movie considering the top. No, I'm serious. I felt like you could not improve the movie for what it was. And
if you can see my face right now, I'm looking at Dave like, you sure?
I thought Kong Skull Island.
I thought the best thing about Kong was Kong.
No, of course. It is Kong, but I thought it was well acted. I felt like they tried to give some parts to the other actors. John C. Reilly's arc is hilarious and also heartwarming at the same time.
Very true.
And with, the moves with Godzilla that's going to make, and we all know that Godzilla versus King Kong is going to happen. It helps. It's important.
It does. Cory, what's your thoughts on the Captain Marvel trailer?
I'm going to be completely honest. I had no idea who Captain Marvel was, and I still don't. Still don't know who it is. So
he just knows.
It looks cool. It looks really cool.
He just knows this badass white bitch. With,
I just seen this white lady here doing a couple flips, and I'm like, all right.
She's not to be fucked with.
Samuel L. Jackson's got hair again. It's weird.
It's weird.
So I'll speak on that. I think the de-aging of Samuel Jackson looks fucking amazing. We're talking about Samuel Jackson from like
from The Negotiator.
No, I think younger than that. We're talking like Amos and Andrew. We're talking
that's a good one.
Long Kiss Goodnight, Sam Jackson, and with hair, no mustache. Now, will it hold up for all of 2 hours? I'm not sure. But as far as what we got our first look at it, I'm into it. Now, I do agree. The trailer doesn't really show much. Oh, correction, it shows a lot. It doesn't tell you anything.
Right. Exactly.
And, as far as we know, in the build up to this movie, this is going to be the movie that reels it all together as far as the events in Infinity War, where we're probably going to see in Infinity War 2, which is not the title, obviously. But
speaking of that title, I know this wasn't a topic we were going to bring up, but it's being teased right now as Avengers Assemble.
I read there was a Avengers Endgame, which I love that title.
Yeah, that's a good title. I don't know how I feel about Avengers Assemble because, that's like the catchphrase that
Yeah, well, I read something else where they wanted to have it called Avengers Forever, which is like, dude, Batman already took that and shitted on it too. So it was just, nah.
And I think Marvel officially announced that they are taking over the X-Men franchise. That was announced today, actually.
Are you ready for that? I'm ready for that.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to see something well made with X-Men. Finally.
That's a long time coming.
Finally.
It really is. So speaking of the Marvel, well, I guess it's not a good segue, but DC. It's been a shakeup, a crazy shakeup over at the DCEU. We all knew that Ben Affleck as Batman was kind of treading on thin ice. Like, he may not be Batman for very much longer. Cavill, we pretty much figured would be locked in as Superman. Until we get word, Cavill's out.
And I don't know what's the latest on this, because the last I heard, nothing official has been made yet.
I believe Warner Brothers did put out a statement. I believe they said
but I know, but they said regardless of whatever the relationship is, we love Henry Cavill and he's with us, which that doesn't say shit.
It doesn't say much. No.
What are you trying to tell me?
Well, I feel as if he decided to leave because let's say he was fed up, right? As Superman, he's appeared in his own movie once. He's appeared as Superman 3 times. And the ill-received Batman vs. Superman and these also ill-received Justice League. Now, I feel as if you would think at this point he would have a Man of Steel 2 at this point. Because Wonder Woman, success. Suicide Squad, nobody cared. Batman vs. Superman, I saw it. And he was your first locked in for the DCEU, and he's getting the back burner. So maybe it's stress. It's, listen, I'm tired of this shit. I want my own movie. If not, I'm going to walk. Because let's be honest, since he took that Superman role, Cavill's built quite a name for himself with Mission Impossible, Man from U.N.C.L.E.
The rumor of him playing Bond now.
I can kind of understand why he's like, dude, if y'all can get it together, I'm bouncing.
Right.
Well, I think that also could be the reason why maybe he's putting the pressure on him to play Superman if he has maybe Bond lined up. Why do I need to play Superman anymore?
It could be. Daniel Craig is on his last movie for sure.
Speaking of Bond, because, there's been this ongoing talk about Idris Elba possibly taking over that Bond role.
Which I'm great with.
Which I find funny because, Idris Elba, a black man taking over this role. That's primarily a white man. So with that being said, another report came out with Warner Brothers speaking on the fact that if, in fact, Cavill did leave, they want to possibly bring in Michael B. Jordan as Superman. Now, this was met with mixed emotions.
On one side, you got, Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger, and Creed. On the other side, it's still Michael B. Jordan. He was just in the best Marvel movie to come out.
Best Marvel movie this year?
So yeah, and it's debatable that it's at least top 3.
Yeah,
and debatable for best ever. So, and he, we talked about this quite a bit, how he really built that movie along with the culture of Wakanda. Mm-hmm. So, for him to jump ship to DC, and I get it, like his character's dead, totally understand that. So, yeah, spoilers.
You haven't seen it.
Sorry. You've never seen it. Okay, there it is.
That's on you.
You have it down. There it is.
You haven't seen it. It's on you at this point. It's it's at this point where it's like, okay, are you going to jump to DC? And if so, how are you going to lock yourself in? The truth is that DC needs to blow up their operation.
Completely.
If you want to take out Batman, okay, think of it this way. DC is really built upon the big 3, right? Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman, right? And it took a long time for Wonder Woman to get her respect, and you have a respectable Wonder Woman now. So build on her, see what you get out of Shazam
and Aquaman.
and Aquaman, you know, and you know, we'll see where that goes, and build from there. Build your backlog if you're going to do that, and then come back 3 years later with a Superman movie. If you're going to replace Superman altogether, or drop Man of Steel 2 and drop it soon.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
It does. Well, I feel as if, I think we all feel the same way as far as DC, the way that they decide to put out their movies, because they want to try to be like Marvel so bad. It's like Marvel took 10 years to build this franchise.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So what happened? So we got no backstory when it came to Aquaman, and all of a sudden he's just in Justice League. We got no backstory about the Flash, and all of a sudden he's in Justice League.
We got a backstory, kind of.
No, we didn't.
We got a flash drive.
Right. We got a flash drive. That is not a backstory. that is me pulling up your resume. That doesn't tell me who you are. That just says, oh, okay, this is your credentials on why you could be part of the Justice League. And same thing with Cyborg. Luckily, Cyborg was actually pretty decent in the film. The other two, they were okay. You know, Flash had one legitimate funny scene, and it wasn't because of the Flash. It was because of Superman, ironically.
I agree to a certain point. 'Cause I kind of found Cyborg a bit boring, but that's there.
But he also had a good story.
He did. I would rather have that story told with his own movie.
I agree.
But
I agree.
But as far as him kind of just shoehorned in there, Justice League was just a mess.
There's also the fact of okay, so what does this mean about your DC TV shows you got going on the CW? Because you have another Flash that's running around right now. You technically have a Green Arrow right now, and a lot of people really like Stephen Amell.
Right.
A lot of people really like him. I do. I think it's great.
But they're so anal about mixing that, TV and film.
But they can break that because they can completely break that because of how much control they have over their own TV shows.
Right.
It's not like Marvel. Marvel literally had to build off the Netflix thing, and now that's about to get dropped over to DC. So Marvel needs to figure out their TV situation really soon. Now, obviously, Daredevil season 3 is about to drop. Iron Fist season 2 just dropped.
Luke Cage season 2 is out now.
Yep.
Right? I haven't heard that many great things. Yeah.
Or the production of Defender season 2.
So Marvel. This is an opportunity really for DC to say, okay, you know what? Why don't we see what we have in our DC universe? And if the Flash is going to play Barry Allen, the one out of DC, why don't we have the Flash on the TV show name himself Wally West?
Right.
Because that is totally canon when it comes to DC. Now I know some DC fans are gonna look. I don't care. I'm trying to make it work for them.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. No,
I don't care. You want to write me David Danger Neff? Okay, I'll tweet back when I get back from vacation.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not getting into no kind of spat with no Marvel or DC.
No, I want a spat because I want the traction. This is beef culture right now. I'm ready to go.
Better start writing them lyrics then. All right, so let's nip into the bud real quick before we move on. Cory, Michael B. Jordan, Superman, yay or nay?
I'm gonna have to go nay. Honestly, I don't see how Michael B. Jordan becomes Superman. I just don't see how you even transition or even smoothly bring him and introduce him as Superman
and not notice the clear difference.
But I will say, and Dave made a great point. His character did die. So, I would probably like to see him maybe, reappear as maybe another character, maybe
as
somewhere.
A hero.
I don't know. Green Lantern. You have Hal Jordan waiting right there.
Well, Tyrese was supposed to be that, but then he.
No, we ain't talking about Tyrese. We ain't talking about Tyrese.
We definitely prefer Michael B. Jordan.
Do you want Tyrese as
what
Green
more
Lantern?
do you want from me? Shout out Tyrese. So I would assume for you, it's a nay for you as well.
If DC writes better, then I'm fine with it. But that's more contingent on that. I would love to see Cavill get another shot, but Cavill's got to do what Cavill's got to do. If he steps out, I don't have a problem calling him the second best Superman.
At the very least, I'm interested.
Yeah.
To at least see where we go with it. I'm with you on the DC Marvel ship jumping thing because obviously nobody's loyal, but Lawrence Fishburne, DC now at Marvel. It's whatever.
Yeah,
but
whoever signs the check is whoever signs the check.
exactly. Exactly. But I think at the very least, I'm just interested. I'm interested to see where it goes.
So let me ask this though. So let's just say hypothetically, Michael B. Jordan does become Superman.
Great.
Does that mean he has to remain Superman? Then? Like, who's going to be Superman after Michael B. fucking Jordan?
Oh, he's locked in for a minute. he's locked in for a good minute.
You can't take him out of it.
How old is Michael B. Jordan?
29, 30.
Right. So you lock him in for 10 years.
You have to.
Right. You say for the next 10 years, you are Superman.
You're Superman. Nobody else. You're Superman.
We will pay you 8 movies at like $250 billion or whatever it needs to be. And then that's it. That's Superman. And you let that era run itself out. You let him be your Iron Man. Is the way you got to do it. Because the truth is that we've had too many Batman. Yeah. We've had way too many Batman and at this point, way too many Jokers. Which, by the way, I saw the picture of Joaquin Phoenix, and all I said, hey, look, guys, it's just Nanny McPhee as a dude.
Well, okay. So to briefly touch on that, I'm not gonna lie, I am very much excited for this standalone Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix, Todd Phillips. You really?
I hate it because Joker lasted for 70 years now without an origin story.
Why doesn't anyone know?
Right, exactly. So I know some of you are going to bring up Tim Burton. Look, at that point, Batman was literally at his lowest. They had to increase popularity with him some way, shape, or form.
True.
But after that, did we actually get a Joker origin story? No, the increase of how interesting the character was. People were talking about how Jared Leto was going to be better than Heath Ledger. That's how interested people are invested into him right now.
Pause. Shit. What? No.
That's what people were saying.
No.
I'm serious. Mind you, we know what we got afterwards. But at the time, the build-up, they're like, I don't know how I feel about how he looks, but there's a possibility because of the method acting Jared Leto does. Mind you, he doesn't method act. That's just how. Do you know didn't even know he was like Joker half the time?
I can believe it. I can believe it. I felt like he was kind of just chilling in the club and they filmed him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so is this you every day?
So I'm in character now?
You was a weird motherfucker.
Do I got to change my birth certificate or something? What's my real name?
So the hot tattoos are real.
Right, yeah.
All right, cool. Move it up.
I got to get a grill? All right, I'll get a grill. No problem.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this standalone movie. I just want to see where are we going with this? I like the cast. I love the director. Is Scorsese producing this?
Yeah, I think so.
So at least the crew behind it has me that much more interested in it. Where we go, I have no idea. But
does it have to be Joker?
That's what I was saying. I mean, I've been a huge Batman fan since I was a kid. Like, why is Joker getting this story now?
Let me tell you something. You put a top hat on him with a question mark and you call him Riddler, and it still looks exactly the fucking same. I had scars with Heath Ledger and I had a grill with Leto. He just looks like Nanny McPhee with good teeth.
I do like Joaquin, so let's see what Joaquin does with it.
Fine.
All right, cool. Now, just to kind of real quick to take it back to super throwback. Jim Carrey as Riddler. Great person to play him. Completely wrong time. Wrong movie too. Because I feel as if Carrey as the Riddler is the one thing that does save Batman Forever. But with better material, Carrey could have gave you something really special.
No, he could have. And you know what was great about Batman Forever, which
Nothing.
was very little.
Batman Forever was historically bad.
outside of Jim Carrey, like we got the weirdest performance from Tommy Lee Jones. Val Kilmer literally played a robot, and for some odd reason, Nicole Kidman played a hoe for a therapist. She was so thirsty throughout that entire movie.
And you talk about Jared Leto didn't know he was being filmed. Tommy Lee Jones for sure didn't know he was being filmed. He didn't know at all. He didn't know what was going on. He put on his little face mask and he just got weird. He's like,
our kind of day. You know, and then the story of how he got it. They threw a coffee cup at you.
It was a coffee cup of acid. Or was it just coffee?
I felt like it just looked like coffee.
Was it brown like coffee?
I don't think they specified that. I don't
Right, exactly. They threw something in his face and it just looked like coffee. I was like, I don't get a steak for a face if somebody throws coffee in
Folgers
my face.
don't do that.
And we proved that in Kingpin. And he literally said, oh, the coffee is hot. The dude didn't turn out to be Two-Face.
God help us. All right, let's move on to it, drill.
Y'all know you're going to miss us in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. This is great banter that y'all missed for a legit 2 weeks. Dave, do you have the 2-minute drill clock ready to go?
I do.
King Cory, do you have your questions ready to go?
I do not, but I'm going to go ahead and we're going to wing it and we're going to go with it.
I mean, hey, man.
Hey, man, that's how I do life, right? We're going to wing it. We're going to see what happens.
And then jail happens.
Right.
All right, so with you being the guest of the show, which way you want to go?
Ask me or ask him?
I'll ask Julian, man. I'll ask Jay.
Oh, of course, he'll ask me first.
Of course.
Yeah. All right, so 2-minute drill with special guest King Cory starts now.
All right, here. So let me think here. You didn't put me on the spot here. I was completely not prepared.
10 seconds if I were gone past.
Oh, wow. All right. Yeah, all right.
All right, so my question.
Go ahead.
All right, so according to his ID, how tall is Carter?
6'1".
Correct.
Cory. Jackie's character is standing out in front of a Chinese restaurant when 2 people come up to him to ask for directions to a famous Los Angeles location. What is that location?
Oh, that's Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
That's right. Oh, that's right.
Side question, side fact that happened to me one time as well. Super Asian. Where's Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles? What? You really want to go? You really want to know? I mean, the best one is down that way, but it's in the hood though. So whatever. Right, your question.
All right, my question. All right, what classic song was Jackie Chan reciting outside of Chris Tucker's Corvette?
Whoa, yeah, what it is good for?
Absolutely nothing. Ha! Our kind of day.
Good God, All right, what Hollywood landmark does Carter compares to Lee's home?
That's a good one. Chinese theater?
Correct.
Oh, man, I got lucky on that one.
Which is kind of racist when you think about it.
Yeah, it's Carter. It's fine. At the beginning of the movie, what body part was blown off the police officer when the car blew up?
It was his pinky, wasn't it?
That's right.
All right.
How much time we got?
We got very little time left.
All right.
10 seconds.
All right, last question. Oh, man, I had it on my head, too, here. What president's daughter did Chris Tucker refer to the counsel's daughter when the kidnapper called him?
Chelsea Clinton.
There we go.
Yeah.
Look at that. We got, for the season finale, everybody.
We're all getting them right.
Yeah.
Getting them right.
We're all getting laid.
Well, if you don't know what movie we're talking about, which is a real fucking shame, you really should know what we're talking about. Taking it back to 1998 with the beginning of a 3-movie franchise. The one that kicked it off, the one that made Chris Tucker a fucking star. Rush Hour. Original release date, September 18th, 1998. Shares opening weekend with One True Thing. Never seen it.
Never seen it. Never heard of it.
I want to say William Hurt's in it, but that's about as far as I know. Yeah, all right,
May you rest
on.
in peace.
Yep. Production budget $33 million, with a box office total $244.4 million.
Made Chris Tucker a very, very rich
Very
man.
rich man. Currently holds 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know how I feel about that.
I kind of feel like that's low.
That's pretty low. That's
Like-
pretty low.
Like 60. I'm okay calling it like 75.
I'm good with calling it a solid 80. Now, I'll call it a solid 80 only because it kicked off the franchise. I still believe Rush Hour 2 is my favorite one.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I would give it a solid 80 also.
Yeah. So yesterday, I go see Cory, and we were talking about the show and kind of reminiscing on the movie itself. Now, I remember being a kid in LA, reading the Los Angeles Times, and they have what they call the calendar section in the paper, which is basically the movie times. And I never forget, it was a article in there saying that Jackie Chan to pair with Chris Tucker for new action comedy. And I read it again. I'm like, Wait, Smokey? Huh? Called Rush Hour. And I remember we were getting ready to move here to Vegas. And you know how LA marketing does. Like, it's all over the fucking place.
Yeah. You go down Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah. So as you are, kind of going around the city, you start seeing these posters of Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker, called Rush Hour.
And I bet you the first thing they asked, it was like, are you sure you're not confusing Tucker with Rock?
Yeah. But then you think about it. Prior to Rush Hour, Chris Tucker was in Money Talks, which gave him the boost.
Right.
Friday definitely gave him the boost. Fifth Element, gave him the boost as well. So this is like his first. And Dead Presidents. So this is like his first, not his first leading role.
And Dead Presidents, his role in that is really what made that movie sensational.
You know what? Honestly, I just watched Dead Presidents recently, and I really looked back and I was like, wow, Chris Tucker really had a pretty prevalent role in it. And he did his thing in the movie.
He did his thing.
You know what's funny? He's actually kind of an underrated actor a little bit. Like nobody gives him like the due that he has, but think of like his career. He did Dead Presidents. He did Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3. He did Fifth Element, which is arguably the best 90s sci-fi movie to come out, unless you're counting Terminator 2, which is fine. That feels super 80s to me.
It does. Yeah.
And he also, even in his later years after Rush Hour 3, he still had a big role in Silver Linings Playbook, which is arguably probably the best personification of bipolar disorder to come out. So
yeah, now to talk on that. We also noticed yesterday, going over Chris Tucker's filmography. I'm not going to say the money went to his head. I will say, though, he turned down a lot of shit. Because if you look at his filmography, Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3 is all he did in that little time span.
Nothing else.
And I'm going
to be completely honest, Dave. You just broke some news to me because I did not know he did anything after Rush Hour 3.
Yeah. He had a pretty actually hilarious role in Silver Linings Playbook.
Right.
Yeah, wow.
But that came, 4 years? After Rush Hour 3?
And the thing is that like came out like 2014, 2015.
Something like that, yeah.
And nothing ever since. He's ghosted again.
He's now touring, getting his bills paid. He had a Netflix.
And now he has Rush Hour 4 that they're in pre-production.
Not excited for that. Not excited for that.
Okay, we all remember Rush Hour 3, so nah. But I will say you this. I will never forget the first time I seen Rush Hour. And putting the movie on hold for a second, great soundtrack. We got Drew Hill, How Deep Is Your Love, Jay-Z, Can I Get a... Case and Joe, Faded Pitch. Like, we have
it was a good soundtrack.
It was a great soundtrack.
It was a great soundtrack.
And at this time, Def Jam is producing this, right? So it just fit the movie so well. But then you get the movie itself, and you would think a movie with Jackie Chan, who at the time English wasn't that great, but we know him as Super Cop, Rumble in the Bronx.
Oh yeah. While he was funny in those, he's not a comedian.
Definitely not a comedian.
Right. He's a martial artist.
And you take somebody completely opposite in Chris Tucker, and you get just this gem, a movie that seriously, if this is 1998 again, and we're about to produce this movie, hey, listen, I got Jackie Chan, I got Chris Tucker for a movie. Why the fuck I want to pay for that? I want to pay for that.
Right. No, most definitely.
To hear him yelling shit and hear him speak English.
I did not know what he's talking about.
Yeah, but he can fight real good. Like, no, I don't want that. But you get this movie and you just get this gem of a movie. And I remember just leaving the theater, just grinning from ear to ear, like as a kid, how much I loved the first Rush Hour.
I agree. The first one was in a lot of ways a masterpiece. And it's weird because the second one is that much better.
Yes.
In my eyes. So it's funny because it's almost like we keep talking about doing a super throwback, and I'm like, can we just go ahead and do like Rush Hour 2? Like, cause that came out like 5 years later. That's a long time.
01.
Yeah, that came out. So that comes out 3 years later. So I got to wait 3 years to talk about the better one of the.
If we're gonna do the rules of the show,
but that just lets you know, though. I mean, like Chris Tucker was chilling. He was chilling after Rush Hour. He was
making $20 million per movie.
He was in no rush to do anything after Rush Hour. It took him 3 years to do Rush Hour 2.
But keep in mind, because of the international success of Rush Hour afterwards, he did not have to have a worry in the world. And I think that's kind of where he went. He was like, the money got to his head a little bit.
Until the tax man came.
Well, sure. Fine.
Tax man always comes.
Yeah, but but even Wesley Snipes got out of jail, so.
Well, Chris didn't go, but Wesley definitely went.
Right. But he was like out in like 3 weeks, so it doesn't matter. It was like 6 weeks.
Wesley did some time. I'd say he did about a legit 9 months.
Not according to Chappelle. Chappelle said it was weird because he was supposed to be in jail. Next thing I know, I see him like out in the club.
All right, so Rush Hour. The movie basically kicks off. You have this operation with who I thought was Juntao. Turns out it's not Juntao. It's actually Sang. But you have this whole operation of looks like it's Chinese goods being imported via ship. And we get the first look at Chief Inspector Lee, played by Jackie Chan. Now, one of those things that Jackie Chan you can always count on him to give you is some crazy stunts. Yeah. To the point to where like, bro, you almost died. Yeah. You for sure almost died. One in particular is when he's I want to say he's running between two what do you call it?
Containers.
Yeah, they were and one containers. Is going incredibly fast. And he managed to clear that shit before it almost fucking squashed his head.
Right. So I'm like curious about the cinematographer. He was like, don't worry, Jackie's got it. Let's go ahead and do this at like 30 miles an hour. And like Jackie has like a look of panic when he first looks at it. I know he's acting, but I was like, are you sure?
I think that was a legit look of panic. I feel like I don't think he was prepared for that.
I feel like for a lot of Jackie stunts, he'd be like, hey, wait, hold on. Fuck that.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
Right.
But
then they mentioned the money, and he's like, all right.
All right. One take.
One take. We got one take.
But as things are getting busted up with this whole ship arrangement, Sang does get away. And then we cut to a dinner over at the Council Han's place as he's getting ready to move from Hong Kong to LA. And then we get to look at Tom Wilkinson as Thomas.
Right, who would later turn out to be Juntao.
Yeah, spoiler
alert. You had 20 years.
If you haven't seen it, that's all.
He's Juntao, everybody. You're going to see Juntao real early in the movie.
Right. And so I love the opening to this movie because once, after the whole, the whole toast to the council and all that was great, you get the little girl who's the kidnappee, obviously, and her and Lee have a cool little relationship as, bodyguard, subject,
right,
whatever. So young. She's gorgeous today too, by the way.
Is she?
Oh yeah, she's bad today, but doesn't need her there. But when he tells her, don't worry, America is a great place. Immediately cuts to Chris Tucker.
Cutting the like 5 lanes of traffic.
Yeah, cutting lane traffic. Stupid fool, get the hell out of my way. Like,
trying to sell C4 or trying to buy C4.
I thought the transition between Jackie's character and Chris's character was just genius because, mind you, Lee is trying to sell so young on the fact that America is just a great place to go live. Immediately cut to Chris Tucker in the mean she's in LA, cutting lanes, busting out tripping. And so he links up with Clyde, played by Chris Penn, recipes. And you get this awkward exchange between the two. Obviously, Chris Tucker's undercover. And Chris Penn, Clyde, he's trying to sell the C4 to him.
Chris Penn.
I'm sorry, Chris Penn. Sorry.
Yeah.
And this part was cool because you can just tell what's for sure Chris Tucker improv. He just let it all fly.
Yeah.
Can we talk about his outfit that he has going on as undercover?
In LA, mind you. If we're gonna dig an outfit, this is in LA.
It's very leather.
Very leather.
Super leather.
Like juicy leather.
I'm pretty sure it's at least 80 degrees right now. You have all those leather.
If this is summertime in LA, you are hot.
And that chain looked like, Chris Tucker looked like he weighed like $140 soaking wet in this movie. That chain looked like it weighed 10 because he's like leaning down a little bit. He's trying to like keep it up. But I could tell he was struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that took some takes for sure. But as he's meeting up with Clyde, and as the police show up, unaware of what's actually taking place. And by the way, you look suspicious as fuck. By the way,
How do you not go to the back of the restaurant?
How you not go in the fucking restaurant?
How are you selling C4 out of your trunk in the front of the restaurant and expect nobody to say, "Hey, what's going on here?"
Oh, is everything cool, officer?
Nah, bro. This looks real suspicious. You got on all that leather, and something's not going on here. Something's not right.
So, and this can very, very much be my iconic moment for me. The cops they try to bust them both, not knowing that Tucker's on the cover. Chris Penn pulls the gun, and next thing you know, you got like a little bit of a shootout going on. Chris Penn hops in the car, takes off. Carter's shooting at the car that has C4 in the trunk. and I love it because it cuts to Chris Penn saying, "Oh, man, stop, I got C4 in the trunk." Keep shooting, by the way. Trunk blows, and then you just hear the music building up. Yeah, and then Michael Jackson comes on, and it's classic Chris Tucker, by the way. That's the full Michael Jackson dance in Miller Street. Which, by the way, who the fuck is out here, by the way?
And how did nobody see this going on?
This is an empty LA street.
There's never an empty LA street. Never. No street in LA is ever empty.
Especially because he just cut off 5 lanes of traffic before doing so.
No, so there's no traffic as you're chasing this man. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, he chased him on foot. He was on foot when he chased him.
And shooting. And shooting.
In hot leather.
Hot leather.
Swaying his ass off and dancing to Michael Jackson. So afterwards, we get this scene with Chris, right? And it kind of pans back to the Chinese consulate. It goes to, actually, really what it does is that it goes into the police station.
Yeah.
Right. Goes to a police station where, Chris is basically, saying, "I don't work with a partner.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I don't work with, partner. Don't worry about it. I don't work with a partner." And at this point, you kind of get, what's going on the Chinese consulate side.
Yeah.
Where the family, Soo Young's family, has officially moved over. It's been a couple months at this point. And she did have training from Jackie Chan in this process of how to defend herself a little bit. She's still like 7.
Yeah.
So what winds up happening is that she goes, and of course a pretty spectacular scene happens where they go and she winds up getting kidnapped. But she fucks some dudes up a little bit for a 7-year-old. I'm like, you know what? Who was the other dude? The other Chinese guy that's not Juntao.
Sang.
So she cuts his eye pretty good with the necklace that Leah given her.
Sang got the worst of it.
Right.
He got the worst of it.
I'm gonna kill a little bit.
She's straight up fighting everybody, and that's when you find out that she actually becomes kidnapped, which is what really begins the story to actually start.
The one thing I will say about this movie, it has incredible pacing.
It does.
I mean, there's no real dull moment in this movie.
And it doesn't feel like it was rushed from scene to scene either.
It just real quick. Perfectly. This was going on. Let's go. And so, going to the scene where, Tucker's lying. He'll be lying his ass off about what actually went down with the bus.
He's Chris Tucker.
I was punching, slapping everybody. And then all of a sudden these 2 cops, they come out there, they fucked up everything. And so, when he gets called in by the captain, and the captain knows, I'm tired of your shit, seriously. And at this moment, I believe that they've already established the fact that they want to have just some dude follow Lee around. Right.
The consulate basically, real quick, the consulate basically wants to get the best man from China on the job, which is Chief Inspector Lee. Right. So Lee gets on a plane to come on down. And at this point, the FBI is, they want to take all the credit.
Right.
And of course they do. Why not? It's the FBI. That's what they do.
The Chinese consulate's daughter. Yeah, of course.
Right. They're going to take all the credit to make themselves look good. Mm-hmm. So they contact the LAPD and get off the phone with the boss. And the boss was like, "I don't have a man that can give for this job." And that's when Chris Tucker just so happens to walk in
the office.
right at that point. He's like, "You know what? My man will be there in an hour."
Sitting right over. And so the way he sets up Chris Tucker to have this, oh shit, FBI wants me on the case. Okay, cool.
Right. Oh, it's an honor for you to have served with us. You're moving
classified.
up with the G14 classified.
Which sounds important as fuck, right? Like, wow, yeah, I want to do that. That's cool. But But when he goes over to the consulate's place, and he's big shit. I mean, he's big balls McGee at this point.
Asking for the headphones. Yeah, I need one of those.
I need one of those.
The first thing he does, he steps out of his Jaguar. Right. And he goes first off.
Just throws the keys like,
you're right. First off, he tosses him up in the air like, go ahead and valet park this. You know,
do you know who you're talking to?
The FBI's going to valet park for you, bro. I need one of those headphones. Immediately. And he goes and he's like big shitting everywhere, you know, and they're like, oh, G14 classified. We need you to basically escort one of the officers that's coming in via airplane, and he's like cool, you know, whatever, you know. At first he was like, no, I really want to help with the case, and they said,
and I work alone,
I work alone.
Yeah. And what do you want me to do with him?
Like, who is Lee? What kind of job is that?
Right.
And it's not really clicking until he like, listen, this is our case. We don't need you or some Chungking cop busting up our groove, whatever the case may be. And I love the fact that, you know, your boss put you on this job. So all you can say as the FBI guys walking, hey, this is bullshit. I love that line. So cuts immediately to the airport where you get Lee coming out the plane. And just their dynamic when they first meet is just classic.
Yeah, I think that's probably my one of the iconic scenes to me. That whole little scene right there of them first meeting.
When they first meet, and he goes, please tell me you speak English. Tell me you speak English.
He's like, please tell me you speak English. You know, and,
I'm Detective Carter. Do you speak in English?
You put your own shit in the bag.
No. You put your own shit in the bag. I'm not a sky cap. I'm FBI. You understand?
Now he's FBI.
So of course in his head, you know, because Carter as a cop, you know, he knows all the connects out in the LA area. Right. So he comes up with the plan of how he's going to solve this case before the FBI does, so he can get all the credit that he can. And the first place he takes him,
it's a man Chinese theater.
He's a man. He's like, you see, it's just like home. Mind you, he just got off a 15-hour flight from China, and you take him to the man theater in China.
Chinese shit.
And the first thing you show him is I guess the most personification of America is the John Wayne footprint.
You know John Wayne, you know the Duke.
The Jew with the Duke.
And so he comes across the guy who does the star maps, which, by the way, is a real thing.
Oh,
Living
I know.
in LA this whole time, I remember one time, just for the fuck of it, I was like, let me get one of those. And there's actually an actual tour that takes you around LA to these star homes, which I'm very surprised they signed off on this shit. Like, don't bring this whole crowd to my fucking house.
I'm pretty sure they don't.
Hell, this time it's, you know, Tom Hanks taking out his garbage.
They have a joke on this. Have you guys ever watched BoJack Horseman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So they have this whole joke on how, you know, BoJack is like this former TV star. But they totally, but his roommate decides to make a whole shitload of profit off of this and turns his house to make it look like it's David Boreanaz's house. And so they're like, oh, David Boreanaz is inside when this tour bus is like hanging outside. They wind up making like $10,000 in that one day so they can go and explore and tour inside David Boreanaz's house. Mind you, they're just putting up like pictures of David Boreanaz on the face of BoJack, you know, so it looks a little awkward. You see a picture with him and like other members of horses that are just kind of like hanging around there. And it's like, oh yeah, you know, he was really, really big in the equestrian community.
So, Stuckey is his name, the Star Maps guy. His name is Stuckey. Right. And he gives Carter this information saying that there's a guy just got to LA. He's running around buying all kind of firearms and like he was starting some kind of war. And he goes, "What's his name?" I don't know his name. He said, "You know his name for $45. I don't know his name for $45. You better tell me something." Right? And so, funny thing is, Lee
is wandering off.
He's not with the shit
at all.
See, he's wandering off at this point. And so when he turns back to see where Lee went, Lee's on the fucking Star Maps bus, waving back at Carter. And so you get this this foot chase /
motorcycle.
Which, by the way, you just took a motherfucker's bike, by the way.
Just smacks him off his bike.
And so He chases Lee down, manages to get to the bus, climb the back of the bus, and now you have this issue with Lee. Who, by the way, does not stay still.
On top of him posing for pictures when he gets on top of them.
Right. He's pulling out his piece and posing for pictures. That may be my iconic scene, actually.
I'm telling you, this movie has so many like light little moments that are just funny as hell.
That's just hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's all right, FBI. Tell me this. Wait. Mind you, Lee's hanging on a fucking Hollywood sign
Because he decides to escape again.
And so you get this thing, and once again, this is just Jackie Chan at his best. Like he can flip, he can dip. He manages a way to cut through a van to a taxi, and it just like this is Jackie Chan at his peak. So when Carter catches up with him in the taxi, get out the car, and now Jackie takes the gun from Carter in the most coolest way possible. He has another gun. Carter has another gun. Taxi guy gets out. Hey, what's going on here? Hey, mind your business, old man. He has a gun now. You know what I'm saying? And then we get Lee pretty much speaking English for the first time.
Right.
And the look that he gives Lee when he speaks English.
So I'm speaking English now. Like I decided that you assume I didn't. Like, assume I kick your little Beijing ass. Right? Yeah, listen, this movie will likely go down as probably one of the funniest and really an original idea.
Yeah, it really was at the time.
You know what I mean? Because we've seen those stories to where you have this person in a foreign, what's foreign to them, you know, first time in America or first time in another country, and they gotta figure it out. But no way have we seen, you know, a guy from the Far East link up with a guy from the West, and we just get this chemistry. And nobody thought this chemistry would work.
Yeah.
The only time that's ever really happened in that sense would have been the Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor days, where you had this kind of odd couple pairing that would happen. I know a lot of people want to say Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. No. This was race was finally involved in there. I mean, See No Evil, Hear No Evil is one of my favorite movies of all time, just because they're playing off of each other, and one of them is deaf, the other one is blind, and they're just playing off of each other the entire time. But it's the same thing that you're stating. You know, Tucker is this loud mouth, fast talking dude, and Jackie Chan doesn't really do a whole lot of talking in his movies. He just kind of whoops ass all the time.
Right.
Which brings me to the scene when they pull up to the liquor store, and instead of him coming out with Carter cuts him to the steering wheel. Comes out with a beef and bean burrito,
which he's eating, by the way.
He's eating
the beef and bean burrito.
And Lee's gone with the steering wheel.
Did they already go into the pool hall yet at that point?
They went to the pool hall before they got to the
Right.
You're right.
Because it was the cig-a-weed. It was a cigarette. It was a cig. So they walk into this pool hall, and the pool hall has primarily black individuals. I think there was only black guys in there, actually.
Yeah. Yep.
And so the first thing he sees is this guy who's high out of his mind, right? And I mean, he just looks like a California stoner. You know, he's sitting there with weed in his hand, and Chris Tucker's like, Carter's like, he's like, what's this? Is this weed? He's like, he's a cigarette, man. He's like, is this weed? He's like, it's a cigarette, man. He's like, this ain't a cigarette. This is cig weed.
Yeah, remember this? Where's that?
You better have glaucoma.
I do.
Now, one thing that I found hilarious throughout this whole time is how is he introducing himself to other black people? He's saying, "What's happening?"
Of course, my name.
Right. Thank you. And of course, Lee's just trying to fit in some way, shape, or form. So Carter goes to the back where he basically looks like he's busting illegal poker dealing and whatnot.
Played by Clifton Powell.
Powell, yeah.
There's there a movie with black people in it, he'll be in it.
Clifton Powell somewhere in the movie.
He's in there somewhere, for sure.
And of course, you know, you come to find out
MC Hammer Daddy, put the goddamn
right. Because he's dressed in like this all red suit. What are you wearing?
Super gold ass glasses.
What are you wearing?
Your mama got me this suit. This is my favorite goddamn suit.
Where little girl at? So, all right. So
then what happened? So Jackie trying fit in with everybody, goes to the bar, and Car's like, go wait outside, because come to find out, of course, it's his cousin.
Right.
You know, which I was like, man, that's racist, but whatever. And Jackie goes to the bar, and he's like, what's happening, my
Nigga.
And he goes,
He's like, excuse me? And he says it slower.
not only that, he thinks about it for a second. So he's
like, what's
up?
What's up,
my nigga? and proceeds to get his ass whooped. well, correct. They start off.
They attempted to whoop his ass.
And then you just get this on-pour ass beat.
I'm just trying to fit in. You know, I'm just trying to fit in. Winds up whooping everybody's ass in there.
And then smacks the weed out the guy's head.
Right.
That's bad for you.
That's bad for you.
So, all right. So now fast forward to the point where they, Carter cuffs him to the stairwell, comes out eating his beef and bean burrito.
And he tells him he got for him.
And Lee's gone. So now, so we're cutting to the scene. Well, I assume we're back at the console now. And, Carter's in the tow truck with his car attached.
Hilarious.
Lee finds out a way to break in to the FBI to the FBI's consulate, and I mean, it is just I remember when I first saw this, and he double jumped that wall and he landed right in front of the camera. I was like, that's a funny scene, but that was fucking impressive, man.
Pretty awesome,
mind you. What are the idiots of the FBI doing? Like what are they doing? How are they, you know, all over the place? And cause they're all like grouped up together like they're zombies from The Walking Dead. You know, like they needed 17 people with rifles against one Chinaman. You could have gone in groups of 3. You could have gone in groups of 3.
Well,
and probably got him.
You might have caught him before he got in the house.
Right. Winds up climbing up a tree and then fucks up 2 FBI agents because apparently they don't know how to fight. They just know how to shoot. And,
which they couldn't do well either because they couldn't shoot him.
Right. When finally the consulate walks in.
Realize that it's Lee.
And realizes that it's Lee after they were trying to like protect his ass and they were doing a piss poor job.
Oh, yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah.
That entire department might be that fool of war, to be honest.
I'm with you. I think I'm with you on this one.
Yeah, most definitely.
So Carter does show up with a steering wheel-less car. Mm-hmm. And then he's eating some kind of candy bar. I love this thing too because the same guy I was talking shit to Lee earlier comes talking shit to Carter now. And he goes, hey man, you see what Asian do about this height with the steering wheel on? Go screw yourself. What'd you say? I said go screw yourself. You take a little sensitive ass and let me be. Get out the way. Get out this truck. Man, I'm stopping somebody. I don't give a fuck.
So he just punked 2 FBI agents. Are you kidding me? The FBI office is on Lake Mead. I get petrified driving around there, and there's a store there.
I roll my windows up and I lean very low. Fuck that. So, all right. So, FBI, Agent Russ goes, what happened, Carter? Y'all like, that's not my job. I'm not jumping all over us. I'm not
Carl Lewis.
And so just think about the time, how bad timing was, because he literally goes to pick up the phone to call his captain. Meanwhile, the phone rings like that, and it's the kidnappers on the phone. So now you got Carter pretty much negotiating with the kidnappers now. And so I love this part because this is also another iconic scene. He goes, if you want the girl back, listen and do not talk. The payout will be $50 million. And $50 million?
Who do you think it got? Chelsea Clinton?
Bruh, come on. This is not time to be fucking funny. But
they wind up agreeing and they go to the drop. Mm-hmm. And in this case, like both Carter and Lee basically get this notion that something bad is about to happen as they go to explore up into the building of this warehouse, of the top floor of the warehouse. And Lee's actually making some good points. He goes, if I was a kidnappers, why would I be here? I have no place to escape. In which case, immediately afterwards, a bomb explodes.
The explosion happens.
Right. But real quick on Carter, who decides to not back up his man, to basically say something to these guys, because this is really the FBI's only interactions with Lee at this point is that they don't want you here. They don't want to listen to you. They don't want to deal with you because they want to take all the credit.
Right.
Carter is nowhere to back him up, which is why I was close to giving him that full award, but he kind of runs
to his
the movie.
defense, Carter knows what's up.
No, he does.
Carter definitely knows they're not wanted.
Right.
Why are we here?
Right.
Right? I'm basically hired to babysit this fucking guy.
Yeah.
And so when he walks off to go and, demands the FBI what's going on, Carter's like, well, I'm going to play the background. I'm going to be over here. And so when the shit actually explodes and then you cut to the alleyway, you see fucking Sang.
Right.
And then you get this foot pursuit between Sang and Lee. Now, another classic line that Chris Tucker gives. As they're chasing Sang who's fast as fuck, by the way.
Fast as shit. Did you realize how fast he
fast
was?
as fuck. Anyway.
Like shit.
So Sang climbs the fire escape, pulls it up just barely enough for Lee to wall jump to grab the shit.
Right.
And Lee just barely pushes enough for Carter to grab it. And then Carter goes, that ain't far enough, man. I ain't cream, I'm doing your ball, pushing out some up. This is a tense situation. I do not to be laughing right now. But you get this foot pursuit in another warehouse. And by the time Carter catches up with Lee, Lee's stuck in this half floor situation.
Right.
And as soon as Carter walks up, the floor just gives and they fucking fall.
Right. Now that I think about it, this movie is pretty ridiculous.
Movie's
ridiculous.
Hilarious. Movie's ridiculous. But damn, is it funny. So at this time, Sang gets away, and but he drops the detonator.
Right.
So they go see Johnson, played by Elizabeth Pena, who is I guess like a bomb.
Well, she's not expert yet.
In training.
She's a bomb squad in training.
Right.
And this thing cracked me up. I ain't gonna lie. She's over there and she's in the middle of a test, like trying to solve this bomb thing. And you can tell she is not confident at fucking all.
She's sweating.
I mean, let me tell you something. If I'm bomb squad, if I'm hired to be bomb squad, I'm not sweating. Like I need to know that I know what I'm doing.
I need to know I know what I'm doing.
Right. I don't care if you guys know what I need to know.
This is me. I don't care about anybody else in the room.
Shit. I need to know. I know that. Damn it, I need to be confident I know what I'm doing.
So as she's game ready and time's running out, Carter shows up and slams the table, distracting her, and the bomb smokes up in her face.
And then the old man goes,
"You're gonna face distractions when you're out there." I'm like, damn, bro, you could even yell at the other officer here.
Johnson. So shows Johnson the detonator. She immediately picks up. It's a C4 detonator. For some reason, the only motherfucker you can get C4 from is already in jail, which is Clive.
Right.
So they shoot out to go see Clive. Which at this point, I assume he's in LA County. And
he is in county. He's actually wearing county county
and
colors.
So,
not that I would know what LA County colors look like.
but we'll just say yeah.
But yeah, we'll just say yeah. We don't talk about my past.
Just say, I'm pretty confident he was in county.
Dave is black on the inside. So he goes see Clive again. Clive, who's pretty much fucked up from the explosion.
Right. Yeah.
And this scene goes from funny to pretty serious.
Yeah.
In a matter of really moments, because you have Carter basically saying, hey, listen, man, like I'm sorry about you killed the little girl. And, I don't know nothing about little girl, so kiss my fat ass. Like Clark, tell me all day, kiss your fat ass. Right. And so when Lee steps in and he shows him a picture of Soo Young, basically like, listen, this is a little girl. If we don't help her, she dies. You know what I'm saying? So it makes Clive talk.
Right.
And then you get the name Juntao, which has been the classic enemy this whole time. And so, mind you, this is a serious scene. Now that he got Clive to pretty much break and, says what he says. Once again, Carter hits you with some crazy shit. Hey, Clive, thanks, man. Next time I come out, bring your fat ass for cookies, man. We'll appreciate this. Goddamn Carter, man. So
they go to stakeout in front of this Chinese restaurant. And you know what? I really love this scene. And the reason why is because at this point, you don't know why they're actually still partners at this point.
Right.
Like Carter could have went on back to his job.
Right.
And the Chinese consulate could have said whatever. Right. So you finally have the rapport scene that in a way we've kind of been waiting for a little bit. And, it's kind of explained, the backstory. Carter tries eel, which is actually delicious if you guys ever actually try it.
I've never tried it, but ever since this movie, I've always
wanted to try it.
It's really good. It's a little
some greasy shit.
It's a little greasy. Yeah. It's a little greasy. I ain't gonna lie about that. But it's pretty good. I need some hot sauce, but it's pretty good. I ain't gonna lie.
Damn, Chan. Some greasy shit.
So
Chinese food, no soul food.
I ain't saying about no soul food. I said better food.
So of course, so then we get the rapport scene with the war song that's going on because they're doing the stakeout, and they're trying to show how Carter dances.
Well, you know what? I like the scene.
You want to know why I laugh at the scene? Because Lee tries it for the first time, and I could tell Jackie Chan missed the first step. Because it's supposed to be, it claps and then the head goes at the same time. Right? It claps and does the same thing.
Right.
Lee claps, goes over, and then turns his head at the very end. I'm like, you messed it up. You can't
He's
even
an old Asian man.
Old Asian man got rhythm. Come on,
not
man.
on the first try. Jeez. But I do love this scene because you really do get to see the chemistry between Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan.
Yes.
Especially when they're kind of going back and forth with daddy stories.
Yeah.
And they go, my daddy kick your daddy's ass from here all over that Great Wall too. And, that's really what kind of bonds them because both of their fathers were pretty much killed in the line of duty.
Yeah.
And so, that scene does show what could be a camaraderie between the two, a great chemistry between the two as well. And then we get to the actual scene where Carter goes in first.
Right. So they basically go into the restaurant. They see Sang walk in, right? And Carter's going to walk in because they and it's true, they hadn't seen Carter at this point.
Right.
Carter hung back. He was one that was kind of late to a little bit to everything. So the plan is actually a little bit sound, and so I think Jackie said another good thing to try is what do you say?
Camel's hump.
Yeah, camel's hump. So he walks into the restaurant. He acts like he owns the place, and he starts name dropping.
Right. The first thing out of his mouth is Juntao.
I'm like, Carter, what are you doing, man? You don't just start name dropping the head of the operation. That's like me walking into the White House and say, I need to see Trump.
But
you gotta get past John Kelly first before you walk in and see Trump.
People need to talk. Think about it. Think about it for a second. Is it a dumb move or is it kind of like Loki genius? Because they don't fucking know who he is. So he goes, I need to speak to Mr. Juntao right now, please. and she goes, I don't know. Listen, I'm Mr. Juntao, legal advisor. He got into some shit again. So listen, my baby's at
damn
home.
well she did believe legal advisor. That is too fast talking of a lawyer for Juntao to actually afford.
This motherfucker ain't the goddamn legal advisor. But I'm gonna go up here anyway.
So she goes and let them know, hey, some dudes that was asking for Juntao. And so when they come down to get him, bring him upstairs, another classic scene to me. Once again, Chris Tucker at his best. He comes in, hey, what's up, y'all? Where Juntao? Where Juntao at? Why y'all so quiet? Gets pushed and immediately kicked in the stomach. Right?
No, he's kicked in the face. That was definitely a kick.
No, he
kicks him in the stomach first. Then he kicks him in the face.
He goes, hey, that was childish, man. They won't even call for it. Right?
I just came here to see Mr. Juntao.
Holds his hands crossed like he knows what he's doing. I'm like, you don't know what you're doing? He's like, which one of y'all kicked me?
Well, wait. What he says is, he said, listen, me and Juntao, that's my half brother. We got the same mama. I'm Black and East. We all the same, man.
Black East.
and so that's when he gets the kick in the face, and he goes, "Which one of y'all kicked me?" Right? And so,
mind you, the biggest Asian I had seen up to that date when I was a kid
was that dude,
right? And he's like me,
right? He was like 5'11". I was like, good for you, man. I think the only taller Asian I've ever seen was yeah, and then later it'd be Yao Ming.
And that fucker is huge.
Okay. I know, right? I see pictures of him against Shaq, and Shaq just looks like he's like 6 foot, and I'm like, Yao is like towering over Shaq. And I've seen Shaq, and he towers over people.
Listen, I've seen a lot of NBA players. They tower about. We all look like midgets.
Exactly.
Small people. I met Metal World Peace. I'm like, God, you're fucking huge. You're large. God, you're huge. Anyway, so they pretty much discovered. Oh, which I thought was a clever part as well. He gets a glimpse at the monitor because they pretty much moving the little girl from the restaurant to the van. He gets a quick glimpse of who's actually on the monitor. It happens to be Thomas, which.
By the way, it's still Juntao.
Still Juntao.
Still Juntao.
Yeah, we still don't know this is Juntao.
Right. And so.
Well, no. At that point, we knew it was Juntao.
Did we?
Well,
No. What I mean is
involved.
that.
Okay, yeah, right. We knew he was involved.
Yeah.
We just didn't know which one we did. It hadn't been no we did because.
No, because he literally says, I want to get Juntao. And somebody says, somebody's asking for Juntao.
But we don't
turns around.
Yeah, we don't see his face. Oh, you're right.
Around, he tells him to get the girl out of here.
You're right.
So by the way, we find out Juntao, guys, okay?
Great pacing.
At that time, Carter doesn't know that's Juntao.
Right, that's what it is.
So when they're all about to clear the restaurant, and Shane looks back, gives him the take him out look. So, oh, that's a bullshit.
No, that means cut me loose.
It means cut me loose. Let me go. And so when Lee walks in, drops the badge, and it just basically a fight breaks out from there.
Right.
And so another great scene as well, and then it pretty much wraps up with freeze. We kicked y'all ass, all y'all ass. I got y'all ass kicked. And it just shit just goes down like a whole shootout. It just goes crazy. And then the kitchen explodes as it's running out. FBI shows up as shit is done, late as fuck. And now we're back in the console. And at this point, FBI is just done with these.
They're living at this point.
They're living at this point. They say, you're going to Hong Kong, and if you don't get the fuck out of here, you are fucking fired.
You know how pissed off you have to be.
I mean, you are living at this point.
Pissed at this point.
And so, which I also want to cut to that as well, because Carter does call Johnson, right? And on top of that, now the kidnapping fee has now gone up to what?
70 million.
70 million.
Yeah.
So he calls Johnson like, listen, the little girl's gonna die. We don't help her. And he's working it out. He managed to catch up with Lee at the at the actual plane itself, disguised as the dude loaded the fucking bag. But this is another scene that with all this comedy ensued, we get this super heartwarming moment between the two of them about, Lee's like, you disgrace your father, and they have this whole back and forth about, fathers. And then we learned that Carter's dad was actually killed in line of duty, and his partner didn't get out to back him up.
Right.
By a punk who didn't want no ticket.
Right.
And so, once again, you're building this strong chemistry between these two. And then you cut to the big showdown, which is going to be at the exhibit.
Right. And at this point, keep in mind, one of the reasons why Juntao is even involved in the first place is early on in the film, they talk about how they recovered pieces from 5,000 years ago from Juntao of Chinese history. And now this is going to be presented in terms of national history. Right. And what winds up happening is the consulate goes and he begins his speech. And when he hits upon the phrase, and we can pass this on to our sons and daughters, he kind of freezes up.
Gets choked up.
And he gets choked up. And then Thomas decides to go ahead and kind of take over at that point. At that moment, Carter recognized him, and while he doesn't come to exact conclusion, he figures out he's involved
because he was at the restaurant.
Yeah. Right. He figures out he's involved at some point. At that point, Carter decides to take over, and at first he's like, ladies and gentlemen, this is the LAPD.
Another iconic moment. I love this moment.
This is the LAPD. Want to let you know that, what do you say, an explosive device?
He says, would you receive a threat of the building? But actually, please, just exit out the door in single file fashion, and please don't panic.
Nobody moves.
Yo, I said, get your shit.
Oh, you don't want to get your ass blown off.
Titty. Get the titties out of here. Only Chris Tucker can create a panic like that.
And mind you, the FBI's once again livid because they see it.
Like, oh, this fucking guy.
He's fucking back.
Right. So then everybody starts panicking and kind of moving around. FBI is kind of like, what is he doing? What's going on? And you kind of find out that the kitchen staff that's there is hired by Juntao, and then that's when the reveal
pretty much pulls out the other Uzi. Juntao now revealed as Thomas.
A problem I have with this movie, Sang is probably the most recognizable Asian in this film.
He's the only one with blonde fucking hair.
He has blonde hair.
Right.
How FBI, what are you doing? How are you not checking the kitchen staff? But then how are you not checking?
And then again, when mind you, we are talking about the consulate's daughter being kidnapped.
But then again,
we're talking about the FBI.
But how do we know that Sang was even on their radar?
It doesn't matter. You check every Asian guy. The consulate's daughter is taken.
Right. You need to know, who is this person? Do you recognize this? Cross-reference maybe with Jackie, because he's Chinese as fuck. So, you got to, why don't you check with the other Asian guy that's in the room? Because there was no other Asian officers hanging around somewhere and not Russian Wei Khan and that shit. Okay. But that's what I'm talking about. Right. So how do you as the FBI not check your entire staff at all?
They're lazy.
Mind you, he got in here with a whole Uzi. What's
out on Uzi? Who is doing? Did you not check anybody? Because everybody had guns. Everybody had guns.
And you're surprised.
Like, pause.
And you're surprised.
Pause. No. You're
right. We didn't. We didn't.
But as the shit begins to go down, they managed to break out to the van where Soo Young is. This is Carter and Johnson.
Right.
It is like a whole full-blown standoff now, right? Johnson finally can really crack this code with this bomb. So they get Soo Young out. They go back inside. And you get Chris Tucker pretty much setting up the scene, Juice out! I got something for you. I got something wrong. And so, as they're pretty much getting Juice out to trip.
I really like this scene.
They want to get Juice out to break, right?
By the way, the little girl has only been in America for 2 months. So she's only mimicking exactly what Jackie Chan has been doing.
Yeah. So now you have Chris Tucker holding her hand, basically saying, put the goddamn guns down. Like, put the goddamn guns down. Like,
and then she's like, yeah, put the goddamn guns down. He's like, pulls her back real quick.
You heard what she said. and so once Jackie grabs Soo Young, complete shootout happens now.
Right.
And I don't want to wish ill will on the FBI, but real quick.
That's what I'm talking about.
I
know where you're going.
You don't go with this? Okay, here we go. Ju Tao goes to where the FBI is chilling, trying to see what's going on. Mind you, there's a shootout downstairs. It's 15 of you motherfuckers been here. Why are y'all down there helping out?
Why are y'all not down?
Why are there 4 of you hanging upstairs? It's one case of money.
Ju Tao walks into that room with one hand on a gun and shoots them all with one bullet. I don't know about y'all, but most FBI stuff that I see, once that first shot goes off, you're drawing your foot.
It goes down from there.
How do you not have vest? Who's not wearing a vest?
No, it just goes to say that they obviously didn't take this threat on the consulate.
No, exactly. They're not checking kitchen staff for guns because everybody's got a gun. One of them actually brought in a full-blown Uzi.
Agent Russ is on his radio. Say again, Dan. Bomb, bomb, bomb. So
he doesn't turn around.
Oh, okay. All right.
So Jackie decided to strap the bomb on himself. And as Chris is holding the zone a little bit, he kind of runs up to him as Juntao begins to make his escape upstairs.
To the roof, right.
And he goes, and Chris is like, Chris looks over to him. He's like, "Is that the bomb?"
No, that ain't the bomb.
He was willing to go into the line of fire to get away from the C4.
Oh, shit.
Why? Because he saw it blow up before.
I don't know if you ever noticed that we could have actually ended the movie right there. We had the girl.
Yeah.
Everything was fine.
At this point, Sang's
we know who Juntao is, so he's obviously not going to last too much longer. Even if he gets away now, we know who he is.
Right.
We could have ended it all. Everybody could have went home at this point. Right here.
Juntao got to die. A horrible, horrible, horrible death. So he goes, Juntao, yeah. Take him out to Juntao.
Take him out to Juntao.
Go Juntao. Yeah, go. So once again, now this end scene relies heavily on Jackie Chan being Jackie Chan.
Chan.
So as he's climbing all the way up to the roof, which by the way, there's no fucking outside staircase you can take.
Not to the roof.
Apparently not.
Not at this moment. This moment was you got to do it now.
There's a window I'm going to break when I get to the top.
That's on the south side of the building, and the FBI didn't set the correct blueprints because they don't know anything. Apparently, there's no guy on the roof with a sniper rifle. Apparently,
it's just the whole operation was just not really prepared by the FBI. They just
did a shit
weren't
job.
ready for this to happen.
Are you mad at me?
We weren't expecting this.
So as they have this little fight, Juntao and Lee, they're falling, and Lee, who still has the fucking bomb on, by the way, Juntao's hanging from Lee's vest. That's the bomb. And it's ripping slowly but surely. And the only thing they really have to keep him up there is the fact that he's holding on to the pole, which is at least a 800-foot drop.
At least.
From where they are.
At least.
And Jules Al falls.
Of course.
Right? Mind you, this is a tense situation. The minute Jules Al falls, here come Carter. Woo! You know he did.
Now, hold on. Now, before that, the briefcase opens up with this, I think, $1 million that was probably in it at this point. And it's falling down. And Carter's like, Thank you, God. Starts putting in money into his shirt. Like Carter is still Carter first, and then save my partner.
Carter was his character through the whole movie. It was always Carter first through the whole movie. It didn't let up.
Now, I remember watching an HBO first look of this movie, in which they actually showed Jackie Chan falling from that little drape, in which Chris Tucker had to hold to keep him level. That way he wouldn't fall off the drape and he got all the way down. So the fact that he put his trust into, hey man, look.
Man, I need you to do this, man.
I need you to stay fucking still. Please. Because any which way that drape goes,
he falls off.
You fall off. And you fall far and you die. So he managed to get all the way down and to keep the drape to where he can still manage to get all the way down. Right? Heart-wrenching scene. You know he's gonna make it. He's Jackie Chan. But it's just like, who if he don't make it? Who if he don't make it? And he lands directly on Carter. And he goes, oh, thank you. Like, get the hell off me, man. I was being polite. That's be polite to my nuts. And that's basically the movie because, Si-Young gets reunited with her father, reunited with Lee,
everything just kind of cleans up.
Everything kind of cleans up.
The final scene, you have Jack Chan and Carter now headed off to China.
Rush Hour 2.
Rush Hour 2 leads up to Rush Hour 2.
That's correct.
That's basically the movie. That's the movie.
That's Rush Hour.
We
have a great outtake scene that actually happens afterwards.
Yes, and that's one of the things that stands out with these Rush Hour movies because those outtake scenes are so funny.
Oh, outtakes were always great.
They're always funny. You know what I mean? So that's Rush Hour. I'll say this about Rush Hour. Rush Hour is a movie. They tried to make a TV series out of it, didn't work. But it's one of those movies to where it belongs in a vault. You shouldn't try to remake this movie.
You shouldn't.
This was a moment in cinematic history that you really cannot try to duplicate.
I can agree.
You really can't because the wittiness of Chris Tucker, the crazy hands of Jackie Chan.
To be fair, they did try to remake it in a sense. They just did it as Shanghai Noon and then later Shanghai Nights. Shanghai Noon was okay. Shanghai Nights was a little bit better, but no, it doesn't compare. It doesn't compare to the original chemistry of Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan in this case.
Which makes you think, Chris Tucker didn't work after this movie. So it makes you think maybe was that one of the movies that maybe presented to him like, hey, you guys should do Shanghai Nights. You would think they would probably throw Chris Tucker that role maybe.
Where the hell would he fit in Shanghai Nights?
I know. What's a black guy going to do in a Western?
Same thing Will Smith did. The same thing Will Smith did.
We don't count Wild West.
No.
We don't count Wild West. But overall, though, I feel as if that 60% on Rotten Tomatoes is too low. Like Rush Hour, you are literally capturing lightning in a bottle.
I agree.
And you're able to do it again for a second time. And on top of that, make it better.
Make it better.
Rush Hour 2 is hilarious.
Rush Hour 2 is hilarious. And I remember seeing, it's crazy because I remember seeing both of these movies in the movie theater. Like, I remember
opening weekend. I remember
absolutely being there watching these movies. Now, Rush Hour 3 was a miss. It was a miss.
Ooh,
it was a miss.
It was a sinking ship for sure. Katie Cory, who's getting your That Guy award?
I would have to give it to Carter. I got to give it to Carter, man. I mean, he just honestly he brought it all together, even with the serious scenes. You know, we had a couple of real deep scenes with them, and I think it's kind of like what we said earlier. I mean, we kind of actually got to see that. I mean, all BS aside, I mean, Chris Tucker was a great actor. Mm-hmm. He was a great actor, great on improv too. Like, you know, a lot of that was just off the top of his head, right? Just him talking shit. So yeah, I'd have to give it to Chris Tucker.
That chick award.
I would have to give it to Soo Young.
Yeah,
I think Soo Young was that chick, man. From the opening scene where we see her and she's singing to Mariah Carey and she's going at it before she's kidnapped. She kicks all their ass while and attempt to kidnap her. I mean, I think Soo Young would be my That Chick award.
This fool award.
It would probably be what's the FBI agent? Not the one with the beard, with the mustache.
You're talking about Agent Russ.
Agent Russ. Definitely.
Who didn't know shit.
Didn't know shit. It was a dick. Just a complete dick. Complete dick.
Cut that out. What would you cut out?
Me personally, I would cut out the kind of serious scene where Carter, when he goes and he sees Lee at the plane, and they have that little breakdown about his father not coming out and how he's he's a disgrace to his father's legacy. I just don't know. I don't know if that scene to me fit there. So I would probably cut that scene out.
And your iconic scene?
It's so many, man. But my iconic scene would probably be, I would have two. My iconic scene would be when Chris Tucker first meets Lee, coming off the plane, and then I would have to honestly say Soo Young singing Mariah Carey is probably one of the scenes that everybody thinks about this movie. Even if you don't remember Chris Tucker so much, you remember her singing that song.
And you remember seeing the looks on the bodyguard's face like, what the fuck?
What is going? She don't shut up.
Danger Neff, who's getting That Guy award?
It's actually going to go to both Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan because I think it's impossible. Chris Tucker is only playing off Jackie Chan in some of the jokes
and vice versa
there.
Yeah. And
that chemistry alone is what made this kind of really Chris Tucker's career afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times afterwards, I bring up Silver Linings Playbook because it's literally one of my favorite movies. Mm-hmm. He's still very funny, you can tell. But without that chemistry, and sometimes that's how an actor is told, is that they have to have chemistry with somebody else to make it work.
Right.
Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor is a perfect example of that. It's not that Richard Pryor isn't funny. It's not that Gene Wilder isn't funny alone. They're both very, very funny. But the chemistry that they played off each other literally made 4 different and separate movies with each other to make it work.
That chick award.
It's going to go to Soo Young. There is a small argument for Johnson, but to be honest, she's a very forgettable character.
Yeah.
Very small argument.
But at least Soo Young, this was a little girl that did not just give in.
Yeah.
She fought, and she fought back, and that's exactly what I would want.
This fool award.
The entire FBI. There was not one smart FBI agent that did not at least question the orders. Like, hey, they may be onto something here. Instead, they were just like, yes, sir, no, sir. Let's make sure we don't check the guns of the waiting staff, sir.
Let's go to the top of the building and watch it blow up, sir.
Right.
Sure, right on it.
Let's have 4 people surround the money, sir, and not help out the rest of our guys
who are dying downstairs.
Don't worry about it, sir. We got this.
Cut that out.
It's a little difficult to really find a scene to cut that out. I would actually probably say the bean burrito scene because I felt like it could have immediately went back to the consulate. I get it, you want to do the steering wheel trick and whatnot, but there could have been a little bit different way, and it's just so small and so minimal that I felt like if there was a small drag, that 2-minute scene.
Gotcha. Iconic scene.
This is tough, but I'm actually going to give it to when they finally do the war dance. Right in front of everything, because it really personifies the two of them at this point. At this point, they needed to find a way to kind of connect with each other to make it easy. Carter did do a lot of good things leading up to that by finding out more information about where the Soo Young captors are, knowing that it's C4 and who to exactly speak to. So he's not a bad cop. That's a funny thing. They kind of make it seem like he's a bad cop. He's not a bad cop. He knows his town. He knows who his connects are, and that's kind of what you want. What you want to see. He just didn't always take his job so seriously.
Right.
And then, but with that little camaraderie scene where they kind of finally understand each other, they could kind of play off each other's strengths at that point. And you really show. Without that camaraderie scene, would they have actually survived the next scene afterwards? I doubt it.
Very true.
Very true.
I doubt it.
Very true.
Because what would Lee done? Would Lee literally kind of be there to kind of get his back? You know?
If you'd have that bond prior
Or
to
even trust him enough to let him go in first.
Right, exactly. So
not knowing what he's going to say when he gets in here.
So keep in mind, because Carter literally said right before that, my daddy died because his partner did not have my back.
Right.
The next scene, Lee literally saves him before death, for sure. He was going to die. No doubt about it.
Very true.
My co-host.
Well,
Jay Alonzo.
Since you put it that way, I'm gonna say my That Guy award will go to both Carter and Lee, because really in this movie you really can't have one without the other.
Agreed.
You have Chris Tucker to provide that comedy, and you have Jackie Chan who does comedy as well.
Give you a little bit of comedy,
but you have Chris Tucker's comedy mixed with Jackie Chan's ferocious way of whooping somebody's ass.
Right.
And then just the way they bond and the way they're able to solve the case, and they look like the heroes in the end, even though they were first poised to be like, y'all don't match at all. But I love the fact that it begins with them being two strangers, it ends with them pretty much being partners.
You know what's funny? Now that I think about it, like they would have been perfect together as if they actually did Luke Cage and Iron Fist together, and if it was their 1990s style back in that time. It's perfect. Luke, because Chris Tucker did put on a little bit of weight, and he does look like he could take a punch in his later years. But that's why I'm saying, because Iron Fist is supposed to be the best martial artist of all time, and Luke is just supposed to be a badass. So that's a little interesting because you can kind of see that dynamic a little bit. Who's getting your That Girl award?
I'm gonna give it to Soo Young. We're all in agreement with Soo Young. She wasn't no easy take. You couldn't just grab her and dip out. She's gonna fight. And she made sense. I'm gonna kill this little bitch. I swear to God. But I love the fact that Lee taught her enough to at least fight before you're overthrown by grown ass men.
There's only so much you can do when you're 7, but at least you can fight.
But I thought she was a strong character to be 7. Obviously she's afraid, but she didn't show a lot of fear. Like she almost like she knew. Lee be here in a second. I ain't tripping.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that I recognize for that. Johnson is another case, but like I said, she's almost a forgettable character. But she does help out. She does get her just due when it's time to get her just due. So for that, I appreciate it.
Sure. And that full award.
I would give it to the whole FBI staff, but it goes back to Agent Russ. Because he's just this big cocky, hey, I'm the man in charge of that. Yet you don't know shit.
I don't know.
You don't know nothing. And then you got your homeboy with the mustache who just getting his ass beat for you.
Who got his gun took, got his ass beat, got shot. I quit the FBI after this. Fuck that. I would at least, at the minimum, say, I can't be your partner no more.
and not to mention,
partner.
FBI offers Carter a job with the FBI for them to say, yeah, take that job, shove your ass.
Right.
All the ass. I'm LAPD. But yeah, definitely Agent Russ for the FBI because he's the main dumbass who's running this whole ship.
Cut that out.
Truly thinking about it, I have nothing to cut out.
That's good.
The reason why is because this movie is so tight. The pacing is great.
It's well edited.
The writing is fucking great because there's really nothing that I would take out that would enhance the movie or really take away from the movie. True. It's just the way it's paced. It's like, yeah, I love this.
And your iconic scene.
I struggle with this one like a mug. I really did. But I'm gonna come back to in the beginning when he shoots at Clive's car to see if it blows it up. That's what Michael Jackson thing. Because at that moment, if you've been following Chris Tucker's career up to this point, he's known for the Michael Jackson thing, and it would be just hurtful if he didn't do at least a Michael Jackson move in this movie. And the fact that he does it, and he does it so funny. Love it.
All right.
All right, so let's get in quick so we can wrap this puppy up. This has going on for a long time, but it's a season finale.
Good show.
It's our show. Fuck it.
It's our show.
But it's a season finale. We got King Cory in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So let's wrap it up with our quick hits so we can say bye to you guys and be back. We'll be back. Martin Lawrence was the original choice for Carter. Eddie Murphy was offered the role of Carter, but he turned it down to make Holy Man. Horrible choice, Eddie.
Horrible choice, Eddie. Wow.
All right.
Oh my God!
Dave
That's so bad. That is so bad.
But they go back to what you were saying though. If somebody presented you and told you, look, man, I got an action comedy right now for you, and Jackie Chan is going to be
like,
or you could play a Jesus type character who's black.
I'm probably definitely gonna play the Black Jesus. Probably, man.
But then you get the end result like, yeah.
And then you see
Didn't he see the script first at least?
A bald Eddie Murphy who plays a guru. Nah, I'm good. Dave Chappelle, Will Smith, and Tupac Shakur were all considered for the role of Carter.
Interesting.
If Tupac played Carter,
I don't think this movie would have been as good.
No,
it wouldn't have been funny.
Dave Chappelle might have been funny though. Dave Chappelle might have been funny.
I think Will Smith probably would have been funny as hell too. Actually.
Will Smith probably would have been funny.
Yeah.
Will Smith's star was so much bigger at that point.
Yeah, Will Smith
it would have been.
yeah.
It probably would have been really funny.
They probably would have had to cut Will Smith a lot of money too.
Oh yeah. Jackie Chan was almost killed filming the scene where he is almost crushed by metal boxes. They slammed together about a quarter of a second after his head was cleared. Woo!
That's too close for comfort.
But that's doo-doo territory after that. I can tell you that right now. The afro and mustache in the photo of Detective Carter's badge were added as an afterthought in post-production.
Okay.
Good
Cool.
taste. Good little good touch.
I like that one. Let me see. Chris Tucker's line, "Which one of y'all hit me?" comes from Seven Samurai, in which a drunk samurai gets hit on the head with a stick and says, "Which one of you hit me?" Okay. After Carter shoots down Clive's car, he starts dancing like Michael Jackson. 3 years following the release of this film, Chris Tucker appeared with Michael Jackson in the video for his song "You Rock My World," as well as performing more Michael Jackson impressions in Rush Hour sequels. Well, everybody knew Tucker and Michael Jackson they were cool like that.
Right.
Let me see. Got one more here. Oh, two more here, actually. David Morse and J.T. Walsh were some of the actors considered for Thomas Griffin, but the creators preferred an actual British actor for the British character. Then we got Tom Wilkinson for that. And last but not least, one of several films released in 1998 to feature the new blue Pepsi cans, which were introduced that year.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh wow.
Because the Pepsi cans were that white with the Pepsi logo and the reds on the side.
But yeah.
But whatever.
Yo,
that's just the fat guy in me talking at that point.
I like Pepsi. So, shout out to King Cory. Thank you so much. Another one in the books.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It can't be a year later when you come back and do it again.
No, most definitely, man. Most definitely. I got to come back real soon.
Absolutely. So let the good people know where they can find you.
Man, you can find me on Instagram at It's King Cory. You can also find me on OverTheTopLV on Instagram. Check out the website, www.overthetoplv.com. Email is overthetoplv@gmail.com.
Danger Neff, who's getting ready to go out of the country.
That's right.
To
Mexico, Honduras, and Belize.
Going for that.
No, I'm going for the Caribbean. Going for that Caribbean ass, man.
Yeah. All right.
Again, Dave's black.
Dave's black. Yeah. He said, "I'm going to Mexico, Honduras, and Belize." You know I'm going to do it. You know where my head's at. Let people know where they can find you, man.
You can always find me on all the big four: Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at David Danger Neff. I am the co-host here at Back to the Classics, as well as our YouTube show, which we will not have this week, but it is known as Reel It Back. The last review we did was White Boy Rick, which was all right. Yeah, it was pretty all right. Before I pass this baton over to my co-host here, I want to thank each and every one of you, and I actually want to thank the Beat Network family. This has been an incredibly successful, I guess, first 2.5 year season.
It's a long season. It's a long season.
But ever since I hopped on here, since March, it's only been a really bright shining star. Obviously, with New York Comic Con that's going on, but I couldn't do it without the love and support of all you guys that are listening. And I actually couldn't do it without the love and support of the Beat Network family, especially my co-host, Jay.
Don't do it to me, man.
He does work very hard when he's on time, but he does work very hard for what he does. And I know that this is definitely a passion project for him. And you're going to see a lot more of us. This isn't goodbye. This is actually just see you later as one of us takes vacation and the other one
Goes to work.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
But once again, thank you guys so much. I love you. Thank you for everything. And now, my co-host, Jay Alonzo. Where can they find you?
You can find me at work, jealous of Dave going to fucking Belize and doing what he's doing in Belize, and wishing I was there. But besides that, though, I am Jay Alonzo on all the major social media platforms. That's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. Of course, follow the Back to the Classics page on Instagram at BTTC Podcast. And, of course, the Twitter page, BTTC Podcast. And, of course, our Back to the Classic Facebook group, Back to the Classics, a movie talk group, is on Facebook, up and popping. Go ahead, jump on there and join the conversation. We love everything you guys put up on there. We love that you guys are so active. That's so dope. And like Dave said, we're taking a brief break because we're going to focus on Comic-Con, and we're going to come back to you guys with a new season, which is so weird to say season, but we're going to come back with a whole new layout and just come back strong, man. And besides that, get ready to see our face because we're going to be all up and down New York, all up and down Comic-Con. Beat Network is really going to blast the doors off of some really cool stuff. So we just look forward to it. Once again, big shout out to my guy, my best friend, brother from another mother, which is even that's kind of weird to say because your mom is my mom.
Yeah, it's all that. Yeah, it's just
and vice versa,
brother.
Yeah. But once again, a big shout out to my boy King Cory. Shout out to Smiles. Shout out to Perk, to the whole Over the Top crew over there. Shout out to the whole Beat Network crew over here, the iHeartRadio people, the Spotify people, the iTunes people. Thank you guys so much for putting up with our shit. And besides that, we'll be back in a few weeks, and
we'll see you guys around.
Back to the Classics. We out this thing, y'all. Peace.